If you've always wanted to start investing in the stock market but you haven't because it just looks way too complicated, then this video is definitely for you. It is true that professional trading is really pretty technical, but when it comes to getting started investing, it's really not as hard as it looks. I'm definitely not a professional by any means, but I am very proud of myself that I actually started trading stocks about 6 years ago because I've learned a ton of new information and I like it, so I want to share this with you guys. So in this video, I'm covering the 3 reasons why investing in the stock market is not nearly as hard as it looks, and trust me, from a beginner's point of view, you guys are going to like this video because I'm just going to talk about the basics. Now, if you just found this channel, I'm Jason with Honest Finance, and I make a lot of videos on different topics that'll give your life and your finances more value. So definitely subscribe if you guys are into that type of content. But for now, let's just start talking about the stock market and why it's not very hard to get into it. Now, the first reason why it's not very hard to start investing in the stock market is just because of the simple fact that there's a lot of brokerages out there that don't charge any trading fees, and on top of that, they have really low minimum investments required, which is really easy to get started because you don't need much money. Because if you went back even 5 to 10 years ago, you'd notice that most of the brokerages out there were charging about $10 per trade, and then on top of that, they required you to have a $500 minimum balance just to even get started. Now, the problem with that business model is that if you're a beginner investor, you're probably not going to be putting much cash into the market. And then on top of that, if you're wasting a bunch of money on fees because you don't have a lot to trade with, then that's just a waste of money. But in today's world, you can actually start investing straight from your smartphone, and the minimum required balance for a lot of these brokerages is actually 0. So if you want to start with just $1, you could if you could actually find a share that costs that much. But to be honest with you guys, you're probably not going to find a company that costs just $1 a share, but you really can find plenty of reputable companies that are about $10, so definitely keep that in mind when you're starting investing. Now, the second reason why it's not very hard to start investing is because if you don't want to invest in just an individual company and do all the research that's required, you can actually buy groups of assets called ETFs, and they're really cool. These are called exchange-traded funds, and what they are is they're kind of like mutual funds where they're just a basket of assets, but the cool thing is that you can actually trade them right on the stock market just like individual companies. They can basically hold any type of asset that you can think of, but the really cool thing about ETFs is that they force you to diversify your portfolio because you're actually investing in multiple companies or multiple assets at the same time. For example, you could invest in Vanguard's S&P 500 index called VOO on the stock market, and that's actually going to hold 500 of the top US companies right inside the ETF. So technically speaking, if you were invested in that ETF and a few companies had a bad day on the market, then you'd actually have 497 other companies that could make up for those losses because of the diversified portfolio. ETFs definitely have their pros and cons, but I'm a big fan of them personally because you don't have to do a ton of research to get into them, and then on top of that, they just diversify your portfolio so you don't have as much risk. Now, if I'm making sense with all this, can you please comment down below and just say, I got it? That way I know that I'm actually making sense for you guys. Thank you. Now, the third reason why it's not very hard to start investing in the stock market is because there's just way too many resources out there to help you learn how to invest. Obviously, there's a million different books you can read out there, but you've got to keep in mind that the internet also has a ton of different articles and videos, so you can learn basically any type of investing that you want to, and it just takes a little bit of research on your own. There's just way too much information out there to help you start investing, so really there's no excuse why you can't get started today because it's just too easy. I'll also mention that you can even do paper trading or simulated investing, which means that you can actually play around in the stock market just like it's for real, except you're using fake money. So that way you can learn a ton of different things about investing, except there's no risk to you because it's not real money. I personally use the Webull brokerage app because they don't charge any trading fees, and then they also have a paper trading, which is the simulated platform inside their app so that you can actually practice trading with fake money. It's really cool with them because they'll have competitions with the other users and they'll give you $10,000 of fake money, but you can actually win real prizes from the competitions. Their paper trading account works the same way as their real brokerage account. So the cool thing is that you can learn exactly what you're doing with the fake money, and then you can apply that with the real account. And they'll also give you a free stock that's valued between $8 and $1,000 just for putting $100 in your brokerage account to start with them. And that's really cool as a sign-up bonus goes because I haven't found anything that's that good anywhere. So if you are interested in getting a free stock from Webull, or you want to check out their simulated trading, then I've got an affiliate link in the description below, which means I may be compensated if you click through it. But just keep in mind that Webull is a legit trading app, and I've been using them for quite a while now, and I've been happy with them. But they also have one of the best sign-up bonuses out there, and the paper trading thing is just awesome. And just remember, when it comes to investing, that you're never going to make any money or lose any money until you actually sell your shares. Investing for the long term is statistically the best approach that you can take when it comes to investing in the stock market, because you've got to understand that there's always going to be bad days in the market, and you've got to be able to withstand those thinking long term, because otherwise you're just going to get emotional and you're going to sell your shares and you're going to lose money because you just weren't patient. Now, once again, I'm Jason with Honest Finance, and I make a lot of videos on different topics that'll give your life and your finances more value. So if you're interested in that type of content, definitely subscribe. But for now, you can just check out some more investing videos that I have, or whatever you want to do, but that's all for now.